that, but he looked like a genuine dwarf. He was like I see him all like stubbly legs on the shoes, and he was for those 5 seconds he really looked like a dwarf. So I opened the door and he went, "Evening, sir," and
oh, jeez, D.
We cracked up.
Oh man,
we
that's funny.
laughed nonstop in the hallway, just on the floor.
Yeah,
laughing.
we were crying. It was great.
So he could get some milk.
Oh damn, that's funny.
Those are those are fun times.
So, what episode number are we talking about?
We'll be doing 185 on this one, guys.
185.
Are you gonna bring it? You want to bring us in?
I'll bring us in.
All right, let's
Give me
go.
a second here. Dogs come bring it in today. Yeah.
Down by the sea, greener pastures, that's where we'll be in our own cabin. Down by the sea, greener pastures, that's where we'll be.
A live performance tonight. Okay, bringing all the entertainment.
Yeah, the guy at drum who thinks he's Phil Collins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Adjust the Mic podcast. This is episode, I think, 186. We've been popping them out here lately, guys. It's been awesome.
Yes.
Colleen is not with us tonight, but I do have my co-host over here, Thaddeus.
Greetings.
Hello there, sir. How you doing this evening?
Super good.
Good,
to be
good.
here.
And then you brought a vagrant
I did.
over,
Yeah.
and what's his name? Che.
Che, that's right. We got the Chase.
So we got 2 weeks in a row of Che. How you doing, brother? Man, good to see you.
Great to see you. Glad to be back.
Yeah, man. We almost thought we're gonna have to start without you, man.
Thanks. No, had to get some dinner first.
Heck yeah, man. It was good to see you, man. Glad you showed up. Glad you were able to come and join us.
Always happy to be here.
Yep. I hope for many more to come.
Definitely.
So we were kind of even talking a little bit. Dude, man, last episode, we rocked it, man. We just went, I think, over an hour and a half just riffing.
Oh, so much fun.
We had like a couple little topics, and I feel like it's just easy for us. Like before we even started the show, I think we had like 15, 20 minutes of content that I just, put off to the side.
I mean,
And it's all good conversation. It always is, man. So it's good to have you back on again.
always happy to be back on.
So what's been going on with you guys?
Hustling, getting some stuff done in the studio and out in the yard, getting ready to move some projects forward before June.
Yeah.
It's going good.
Well, it's that season, man. It's like it's been kind of chilly, but some afternoons have gotten into the 70s, maybe half of the week. We've had some rain. We actually had last night some hail. Some little hail balls. We had a
Got
couple.
some.
We had a little bit for about a minute or two.
Yep.
And then it came right through. But the planting, we've been planting carrots, and tomatoes are popping in and huge already. And
It's interesting you mentioned that because I always wanted to have Caesar salad during a hailstorm.
That's what.
Hail Caesar.
oh, geez. Here we go.
It sucks. It's
You guys have been dad joking it the whole time.
it would be just the irony that you're eating a salad, a Caesar salad just starts to hail.
What was T's one that you had earlier before it started? That was good.
Oh no, we were talking about that we want to talk about. You said we're talking about
Intelligent animals.
and I said, but don't forget the homeless crisis in Antarctica. To which you replied about.
Oh, we were talking about the reindeer famine of the North Pole.
Yeah, which is worse, the deer famine in North Pole or the homeless crisis in Antarctica? To which, what did you say, T?
Forgot.
Someone was going to perform the
Seal.
seal.
I forgot. Seal. Nice recovery. Nice recovery. Nice recovery. Deer in headlights.
They're going to be served. They're going to serve drinks from the Polar Bar.
Instead of- and Klondikes.
Yeah.
Bam.
What would you do for a Klondike bar? All right. So we're going to get to that topic, but we were talking about what there was something.
Animal intelligence.
Let's just get into that because I can't remember what we had something. We were talking some good Tucker stuff and the Rush stuff a little bit. We'll get to that later. We'll get into that. But animal intelligence. How intelligent are animals? I think they are we haven't even scratched the surface, I feel like, humanity versus, understanding, animal language of any kind, or, we understand behaviors and patterns and certain behaviors and times a year. We understand some things, but there's so much we don't know.
The other thing is, like what we know of animals. I mean, for one to know, there have been studies done on the intelligence. I mean, we're aware of the intelligence of dolphins, of whales. Have you seen the movie Blackfish?
Yes.
You see how they demonstrate how well organized a pod of orcas are. That, like, how there's that one seal on a piece of floating ice, and the orcas work together to swim underneath it, creating waves to wash it off the ice cap so they can go and feast on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that they're capable, that is more than just instinct. It's organization. It's figuring things out and how they work. The fact that they knew that the creation of waves, the physical attributions to that scenario, just so they can get the seal in the water, that alone explains.
Well,
They came up like wolves, right? Before they got in the water, so they're kind of packy. Anyhow.
think about it as a big picture perspective of
Evolution.
just to compare our understanding of animals. I mean, we've had, people live in the jungle with chimpanzees and, all different types of monkeys, right? What was the Jane Goodall?
Jane Goodall, she was with the chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees.
Diana Fossey was with the silverbacks.
Okay.
Diana Fossey?
So,
I think.
and there's history, and there's Planet of the Apes that's all kind of about this interaction between, understanding each other. And we all know, the tangent we can run off and to that, those movies and whatnot.
Well, what's cool that you mentioned Pendius in the original book. I'll just get off here real quick. Original book, the entire story of the astronaut detailing his experience with the Planet of the Apes ends up, kind of like the message in a bottle thing. Someone hear my story,
Yeah.
and a couple yachting in space read this story. And at the end of the story, the couple happens to be these advanced apes that are space yachting, and they say, "Oh, no, not possible that a human can write this." The fact that, but we see the same thing with animals, that we, based on their capabilities,
Yeah.
that we have similar judgment on it.
Completely. In a grand scheme of it, we've had cameras, video cameras for how long?
Well, the first video cameras,
Like-
the first, like, it was followed by, I think it was Edison in the late 1800s. For more than over 100. Yeah.
So we've had them probably for like 80, 90 years. We've probably had some kind of
more than 100.
photos and video reference.
There. So the around
1888.
in Leeds, England, Louis the Prince Films, Roundhay Garden, the first motion picture recorded. Okay, so
All right.
1888.
So
Over 100 years.
So it's just been about 100 years in the lifespan of Earth, okay, that we have been able to record and study as a group mindset animal behaviors, or just what they look like, how they act, what are they doing. We can hear sounds and we can record the sounds, but we don't know what those sounds mean in any way. That has not been deciphered. That Morse code is completely blind to us, at least to our general knowledge, other than maybe some little bits and pieces. So we've just scratched the surface now. We got now cameras are starting to become a mass scale item to where everybody has in their hand a camera that gives a high definition, for people to record animals interacting. You're seeing so many more people's animals, dogs speaking to their humans and little funny mannerisms and stuff that they're learning from us. And it's kind of showing off the intelligence of certain, species, whichever one gets recorded and blah, blah, blah. It's a kind of a fascinating thing, actually.
It is.
There's the Antarctica and the whales and things like the sea shepherd stuff. That stuff was pretty interesting, man. Like, if you're a young person and you have like you love animals and you want to go out and kind of see the world, you can freaking get on one of these sea shepherd things or get on some kind of research vessel of any kind and participate in some of these crazy and dangerous acts. Some of them to help animals that you believe that are equally as intelligent as us, and want to protect them. And
another thing, it's a matter of potential, because you see, like, when you look at when we estimate and we conclude as to how intelligent animals are, if we observe the animal IQ, we can study that based on how the animal reacts, that they have an IQ either above or near ours, whatnot. But of course, another thing about intelligence is also practice. Like, we can agree that whales and dolphins are highly intelligent. Of course, one say, yeah, but they can't write a poem, or they can't create an iPhone. Well, duh, because they don't have the same.
yeah.
No, they don't have the same physical structures as us. But intelligence can be demonstrated in more than one ways. Now, just take a look at that hypothesis and say, what if we operated at the levels of whales? If we had the intelligence level of whales and dolphins as we have studied and have concluded them to be, what would our capabilities be within our capacity as humans with limbs and fingers and whatnot?
Opposable flippers.
Because that's what, that's the only way I can see it. Like, how can we test on their potential? Because dolphins and whales, there are other animals that demonstrate cognition as well. I know that one friend I knew was studying on the reaction of the linguistic patterns of parrots, was it? Or basically the scales of communication with birds, which there have been over the years. I'm sure articles written about the patterns of communications with birds. But the point I'm making is that the intelligence of animals differs based on levels of cognition, based on the appliances. Yes, there's also brain size, because that also considers. But again, it's more than anything what substantiates the usage. Sorry, I'm getting mixed up here. What substantiates their the realization of their intelligence is with the application of such. But again, it's also comparative. We have manners of this demonstrating our intelligence. What's to say what the animals would do with each other's intelligence if they were to be in that situation?
Are we more intelligent
Are we more intelligent
than most animals?
Well, I mean, based on our capacity, we've been able to achieve so much, yet at the same time destroy so much.
So as a hive, like, 'cause I don't feel like I'm overly intelligent. Might be curious and, interested in things. So you gain knowledge based on that. But like a quick, snappy like, who knows how fast I don't know.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm just, that's what I'm trying to get at, is that we know whales and dolphins to be intelligent, but imagine if we get that intelligence levels and we apply it to us. Like, how far will we go with that? How far
are we going to get Neurolinks for the? I think we already have them actually.
Neurolink.
Like I know, doesn't Russia have like weaponized dolphins in some of their bays? I could be totally reading into propaganda here, but I think that this is real, dude. I really think this is real.
I want
dude.
sharks with laser beams on their head.
Dude, they think they have them, bro. There's some dude. Go on, tease our young Jamie.
I think it was an old like Russian dolphin with a knife,
Russian dolphin,
killing like a diver.
Russian dolphin.
weaponized pork pie.
Nice.
Yep. Dolphin army, Russian dolphin army.
Jeez.
Dude, I knew it was going to be on there.
We'll name him Felipe.
A Russian naval base is defended by dolphins, and that's on. I mean, we know it's a leaning one way, but it's NPR.
Geez, that comes straight out of a Bond movie.
But Russian naval base defended by dolphins is not as unusual as it sounds. Russian military is using specifically trained dolphins to defend critical Navy base off Crimea, according to an analyst published by U.S. Naval Institute News. Submarine analyst H.I. Sutton wrote this week, Maxar Technology shows 2 dolphin pens at the entrance of the Say that for me. Sevastopol's harbor.
Sevastopol. It's a port in the Crimea.
Yeah, the Russian Navy's most significant base in the Black Sea. He said the pens were moved there in February, around the time Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Long before starting, so it ran several marine mammal programs during the Cold War, including training dolphins.
I mean, if I may, Scott.
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, like next
See?
next to us compared to dolphins, we are the smarter species. I mean,
Yeah.
I think like if I read an article, dolphins are rated the second most intelligent next to humans.
Yeah, I mean, I would, and
But-
we were talking about orcas, I think, at one point too. And orcas, man, those guys, like, they're even coming, they're like attacking boats now. Like, there's an area where some people hurt some of their pod, and I guess injured some of the whales with some of the motors or whatever, or something about the sound is annoying them, and now they're like coming and charging and hitting some of these sail boats. And
it wouldn't be the first time that happened. I mean, Moby Dick was based on an actual event that a whale attacked an actual ship.
And it's one of the most popular things ever, as far as book, and story and lore. So when you're out in the sea, you're worried about Moby Dick or a mermaid, right? Like mermaids were out there. What were mermaids for real?
Mermaids were
Manatees.
daughters of Poseidon.
Right?
Are we talking about
Womanatees.
womanatees?
Yes. Hey, Frank would have totally agree with what you said just now.
Womanatees?
And this is Frank laughing. Frank.
Like something you hear in a Thriller video.
Yeah,
my
that's
garage.
exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
But still, of course, I believe that we're smarter than whales and dolphins. But like, just imagine, because what's a better way to realize something than when you compare it? That, at least with me, like if I want a good understanding of something, I make comparisons. Imagine if we had, what could we do? Like, what would be the limitations of our?
I mean, it's very basic, right? It's just like a tools. We use tools.
Then yeah,
Like we've been able to, use our hands to create things.
We
But it
have
took-
different parts of our brain that are hyper developed though for speech and connecting the mouth and all the vocal
Yeah.
apparatus. It's way bigger in people, Homo sapiens, than like a chimp.
Yeah.
but it took centuries of persistence and trial and error. I mean, imagine if the first, I don't know, man from the Paleolithic age gives up on the first attempt to restart fire. We said back, it's all about not just our intelligence, but our will, our persistence, and trying again to figure out what works, what doesn't work. It's all part of the learning process. A good mind is not innate. It's built. It's well practiced. Like if one were to wield one word to wield, a butterfly knife. Think of that. Butterfly knives seem complicated and goofy unless you know how to wield them. The mind is a complicated. It's a complicated asset. Wow.
Scott and I
Complicated
like
asset.
we like butterflies though. I don't know what this is about, but
Why do you hate it? You don't like
bring
butterflies?
this show.
Butterfly.
I guess
knives?
let's open it.
You have a problem with them?
Yeah, I have a problem with them. They don't last.
You gonna kill all the milkweed I got outside and kill all the monarchs?
But the monarch's responsible for Godzilla.
There's gonna be a lot of moms around here upset with Che.
No, I'm more of a Mothman.
You guys got to check this
Ooh,
out.
Moth guy, huh?
Yeah.
This is weird, and it's
Mothra.
like the dog to human kind of intelligence thing.
Yep.
This is a weird like connection. I think it's cool.
Yeah, read me a little bit of that.
It's like when your dog reads your face, and it can like there's like monkeys and dogs, a couple different kind of monkeys and dogs and humans that maybe can read it on each other or one of the species, but not all of them. And there's we read each other's the more expressive side of the human face, and it's called left gaze bias. It's like when your dog, you catch it staring at you, and it peels your stuff away, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they understand things. They read your behavior, your personality, your walking style. I mean,
They know what kind of day you had.
and being low to the ground,
Yeah,
it's a whole different perspective and perception and analysis of us.
and it has to go beyond observation. It's more than just being able to read a person's face to say if they're in a good mood or not. It's able to sense it, ever to connect a patterns when, like, when a dog lowers its ears, we can assume what kind of emotion it's under right now. So,
Oh yeah.
I like what it says that rhesus monkeys showed a left gaze bias towards upright human and monkey faces, but not toward inverted faces.
Isn't that weird? That's cool, huh?
It plays how familiarity can influence on what we determine.
And dogs and people came up together, and what worked and didn't work, it shook out until we got this really weird like connection.
It's interesting with dogs. It's growing up, we've had dogs at different ages and stuff, but when you're younger, you just have a different type of analysis of your dog, than not having animals for a long time. I had one animal. We had 2 cats, right? And the cats were awesome there. Cats are smart, man. Cats are slick. They're hunters. Love cats. You're okay. Always thought that they were probably, like, if you're going to compare dogs to cats in intelligence, where would you guys go? Would you guys have a direction you lean? Or do you think there's kind of probably middle ground on both ends?
I don't not knowing anything about which would be smarter. If I were to take a guess, I'd say dogs.
Okay. Would you take a dog or cat?
I think they're like 2 different kinds, but since they're both like have domestic versions, that you can kind of be like, they're both pretty up there.
I'd almost put them pretty close. It'd be a tough one, I feel like both teams could have some arguments there.
And they can both make it without you fast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which here's a very basic.
One
Especially
breeds
cats.
a lot faster,
The
right?
feral thing.
Cats
they
can
go
just
back
breed,
quick.
man.
They're both feral and but they're also domesticated. Well, here's a basic.
I think they say cats go feral quicker,
Yeah.
like second generation. They're like, I'm out.
Well, here's a basic line of question to determine that. Which do you believe is easier to train, a dog or a cat? Because training is not simply, we're in the Pavlovian sense where we just get them to act the way we want them to act based on rewards. You can actually train a dog and have understand what they need to get done and how, not just through incentive. Which would be easier to train, a dog or a cat? I would say a dog.
Have you seen that?
Want your dog to be as clever as the world's smartest pooch knows more than 1,000 words.
I've seen it.
Now, meaning that they know enough words, meaning they know what combination of sounds mean what.
This
when
guy
it
had
utters.
a room full of toys, and everything had a different name, and the dog knew him.
There's a thing now where they got these kids doing, or people doing TikToks and videos on YouTube where dogs have things that have words. When they touch it with their paw, it says the word out loud, and then they will come and say, "How was your day? How was your day?" Food, outside, treat, treat, you know, and they're hilarious videos seeing them do that, you know. Dogs are super intelligent. Cats are just so slick, man. And when you watch them, a cat and a dog coexist together, a cat kind of can control the situation in a lot of different ways. I mean, I guess the dog, if it wanted to, could completely, you know, rip most cats apart, but I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I once saw a video where a cat outsmarted a dog.
Yeah. I think there's a spectrum, right? So I guess in saying that, like, growing up, like, during the early days of, you know, in my early 20s and stuff, having animals, there was, we went through a phase of having some weird animals. We had like a little Richardson ground squirrel named Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank was awesome, super intelligent, but he was more of a rodent intelligence, squirrel's intelligence, right? In that mindset where you feel like they're pretty intelligent, but you don't know like the gist of everything that they're about.
If he was a sculptor, rodent, a little.
Here we go.
Sorry,
Sculptor Rodin. The thinker, the cheese eater.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scott.
No,
Continue.
Continue, please.
But here's you're making the comparison with.
Well, here's the comparison I want to give before you go there.
Okay, go ahead.
Just because it'll add more context. Is now we had a Richardson ground squirrel. Then we got a whole new. We were at the Merritt Island Mall. Okay. And you had that pet store in there where you go see the puppies first, you know, like one of the places you always got to go see all the little dogs, right? And they had prairie dogs, little prairie dogs. Yeah, and this was probably early 2000s.
Dogs like subterranean traveling rodents.
Yeah, like in the prairie in Wyoming, you know, in Nebraska, you know, getting shot by farmers.
Jeez.
Yep.
You know, prairie dogs. And they have that little squeal that they do. They do this little like squeak thing like this. And it's amazing that when you first are talking to the person about them, you know, they got those teeth, those chipmunk teeth that they'll just wreck your day up if they want to, okay? Like they are not to be played with they are dangerous. And it's hard to read their personality at first, and you find out these prairie dogs like to if they get their owners and they're around their owners a lot, they really bond with them in a very intense way. And when other people come over, they do not like the other people because they are going to be protective of their pack and alert. And if they don't know you and haven't seen you, if you put your hand out, you know, at them to try to even be nice to them, they could attack you. And I've seen it happen. You know what I mean? Like firsthand. And so we had got this prairie dog, and we, you know, learning all this stuff about it. We get it home. Her name was Bailey. She was a smaller prairie dog. She was awesome. Super, super intelligent. We lost Bailey pretty quick to like a little some sinus infection and finding the right doctor, the vet, to take care of it. And we took it to this professional down in, you know, somewhere. I'm not going to throw names. And they gave it a shot that was way too strong of an antibiotic, you know, to help with this thing that was wrong with it, and didn't last. My brother calls me a little bit later, right? And he goes, I got another prairie dog I'm going to bring over to you from Tampa. This thing was so much bigger, and this was Lola. We had Lola for a very long time. And when we first bought our house and we brought Lola to our house, we had to install these little cat doors for our two cats. You know, on the back porch, so the cats could go on the back porch where the cat box was and all this stuff. And while we're installing, our cats have never seen cat doors before. And, you know, Lola was just in her cage while we were all out there talking and, you know, cutting out the door and putting in this, you know, door thing. And we didn't think in a million years, once we get it all set up, Aaron was there. Aaron's was the one that helped us.
From the Bible.
Yeah. Drill the door, a friend of ours, my brother-in-law. And we get this door installed. We have the cats back there, and we're trying to show the cats how to use the cat door, put their head through the door and stuff, and saying, you can come in and out this way now. And they just were like dumb to it, and they just were not even about it. We're scared of it. That dang prairie dog, we let it out. Lola, she just ran right over to it and touched it twice with her finger like that, jumped right through it and ran into the house. We had one, she lived in the couch for weeks. We couldn't get her, dude. They're so smart, but they're very loyal. When you come home, they greet you.
Really? The great.
Oh, big time, man. I thought it was way more intelligent than our cats.
What do they eat?
Carrots, some, like a type of a pressed grain type of thing, like alfalfa.
A big friendly rat.
I think it was like an alfalfa
Okay.
pellets. Like there was like a wellness food actually
Little
that
rascals.
you could give them.
Right.
That you feed cats.
Okay.
Wellness brand that I remember we used to get them, and it worked really well.
For the life of your prairie dog.
They're so smart, man.
Yeah. Do you ever let them out? If so, do they dig holes or?
Well, they can be trained kind of. We would take her out and put her on our chest and watch TV, and she just would hang and be on the couch with us and sit up. I got pictures of her, and she's like this tall. When she was full size, she was so big she was intimidating because the other one was so much smaller, and like this one was like, oh my God, like this thing could kill us. Like it was awesome. And that thing would tear, if a dog came around, it would just tear apart a dog, I felt like.
Is that the one you did around the Christmas tree in the scaled model locomotive? You said you trained it?
No, I never.
Okay.
We kind of had it trained. We kind of had it trained. I missed it.
I
Mess with you, man.
I missed it.
But from what you've been telling me, I mean,
So from what you've told me, I think that what you're really talking about is the beluga thing.
Yeah.
the beluga.
Yeah.
Do explain.
Yeah. What's the beluga thing?
I don't know. I was trying to get somewhere with the. Okay, so
Your beluga
He's like,
had
let's
a-
get past all this
the prairie dog.
this prairie
can go
dog
through
shit that Scott's talking about.
Saloon
Let's just
door,
move on.
right? That's a cool skill.
Yeah.
beluga.
But it was amazing seeing
Cats
how
were
intelligent.
skittish.
It's amazing seeing how intelligent these animals are when you live with them day to day. But the video and all these aspects are kind of showing us how intelligent they are.
And here's the other end of the spectrum. How weird is that?
Decapitated flatworms retain memories, transfer to new brains. Oh yeah, the intelligence of life form is so beyond.
Decapitated flatworms retains memories.
Where'd you find this at, T?
I'm looking at I'm trying to look at the wired.co.uk. Wired. The co-authors are hopeful that the find marks. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Sorry, I was reading from a distance. The co-authors are hopeful that the find marks the beginning of our understanding of how memory can potentially be stored in tissue and salvaged, helpful for when regenerative medicine advantages to such a stage that human brain tissue can be replaced or replenished with stem cells. So in other words, that if you were to separate tissue that contains memory, that memory can still be stored and saved, like some
External.
hard drive.
Yeah.
Some floppy
They say DNA has a memory to it, right?
yeah.
Your DNA chain.
This is relatable though. So what we've been covering about animals when it comes to animal intelligence is that when for the animals that can be trained, obviously intelligence is linked when it comes to training animals. It's not merely about acting on instinct, it's also understanding the circumstances in which they're in and how they react. That is an application, that is a demonstration of a certain cognition. That for an animal to be trained means it has a degree of understanding and cognition.
Yeah, I always used to hear people say they could train an alligator. I'm like, man, it's kind of the real far end of
Yeah.
you can train because
I mean, they've tried to train bears and it didn't work.
maybe
They tried to coexist with the grizzly bear story,
They were able to.
you could train some bears.
and they ate that. The guy who made the movie was eaten.
He was just like
not the
off.
Not the grizzly man. Right?
No, I know. who you're talking about.
Yeah,
That guy was just filming bears and narrating what they were doing. He didn't train them. But,
yeah. He just tried to coexist and communicate with him and speak to him and stuff.
I don't know if I
He was all
frame
talking
it up
to him
like
and
that.
wasn't he growling at him and doing language with him and shit?
I would say that he was like
I need to rewatch that.
off the deep end of like doing some not good stuff with the bears. Like
Trying to
he was not.
bunghole him or something.
no, just like kind of like don't eat that one. It's weird. And then later, the one that gets all pissed and puts his ears down is like, "But I'm gonna eat you." Because
This whole time the bear like, who's this guy? Why is he getting involved?
who's this snack?
Yeah, who's this?
Squeaky blood bag.
Now bears, they can barely be trained.
There it is.
Oh, that's terrible.
Don't. He didn't get no applause. He didn't get nothing. Thank you.
You get the applause, okay? And we're gonna go even further.
Bear with us.
He was having a Kodiak moment.
But Yogi, the ranger isn't gonna like it.
That's funny. Let's take a little break
Alrighty.
and regroup. I'm going to throw this one right here at you.
Shiitake.
Are we off?
Yeah.
And we're
Hello?
We barely made it.
got a commercial. Now you fuckers get my makeup off.
Hello?
Hi. Stop
Hi,
stealing
what's
my
up?
Wi-Fi.
What?
You've been using my Wi-Fi. I looked up your IP address and found your phone number.
Whatever.
Then why did your search history appear when I signed in? Explain that.
What?
How'd you even get my password? You a hacker?
Who the hell is this?
I'm not arguing with you. Just stop or I'm gonna get the police involved.
Hello there!
Hello?
How are you? Hello, we are on the air, remember? Hello?
Hello?
This is DJ Mike on the Afternoon Drive Show from Light FM. Light FM! Light FM! Light FM! With DJ Mike. You're on the air. How you feeling today?
Okay.
Awesome! Now, here's why I'm calling you. Every week, we are giving away an all-expense-paid vacation prize courtesy of Light FM. All you have to do is get one question right, and you win! You have 5 seconds to answer each question, and it's easy. So, are you ready to play?
Sure.
First question, what is the atomic weight of fluoridium? Oh, too bad, but it's okay, Shake it off. You have 2 chances left. Okay, second question, multiple choice. Who won the War of 1821? Was it England, France, or Germany?
Germany.
Trick question. There was no War of 1821. It's okay, I'm kidding. Last chance and last question. You ready? Hello? Hey, Barry, did we lose the caller?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Spell the word dog.
D-O-G.
Hello? Hey, Barry, did we lose the caller? Hello?
Hello.
Seriously, you really think I'm going to give away a prize pack for spelling dog? How stupid are you?
What the fuck is this?
Now hold your horses. Let me just get a word in here. All right, no, it's okay. Just for playing, I got a consolation prize for you. Just hold on the line for a moment.
It has to be like a freaking fartogram or something.
Beluga.
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 The Beluga Go-Go's.
All we hear is Beluga Gaga.
Lady Beluga.
Thanks for understanding. Like,
Can't read my Beluga face.
Beluga you.
Beluga you.
Scott.
I'm gonna order a foot-long beluga after this is over.
Beluga sturgeon. Like a sturgeon.
Where did Lou go? Somewhere off with the Beluga.
I feel like we started this off like we're making fun of animals now to assert our intelligent dominance over them.
I
Like,
wonder.
what are we doing here, guys?
Okay, I wonder. I'm sure
Chirping.
there's someone who gets offended by echolocation or making fun of echolocation.
I don't know, maybe.
You're that kind of person.
Like an echolocation, Karen?
I look at echolocation, Karen.
Hey, everybody, it's echolocation Karen.
Oh,
She's so mad at those dolphins right now.
Everybody's on her
Like,
radar.
we narrate it. We have a YouTube thing about it.
we can hear it from a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah. T, you can be our Karen.
All right.
You'd be like, how would you act that rollout? Like, how would you echolocate, be anger, have hate, or ear against?
I'd get out in the parking lot and I'd start shaking my forehead and getting a map of what's going on. And then when anybody walked by, I'd shoot a burst of ping pong size steel projectiles from the blowhole.
Yes. So you
Foot sweep somebody.
you would be okay.
That's how.
A foot sweeping, echolocating, hating,
Echolocating.
ping pong beluga hole shooting creature is what you would be.
Yeah, basically.
I'm
It's
with
a
you.
lot more involved than that, but
Yeah, I'm
dumb
with
it
you,
down
though.
for you.
I
get
that's
you.
it.
I think the most ultimate Karen would be one that argues with their own echoes.
I think belugas probably do something like that.
Just
They got
the-
those kind of vibes, I think.
I mean, when we talked about
And they kind of got that smile the dolphin has. Why
I think
are you
the
smiling?
manatee is a
Yeah.
cousin of the beluga, right?
is it?
Totally making that up. I hope. I'm not.
Well, they
We're not
float.
fact checking.
They float. No.
Holy
Kind of, a
float.
little bit, right?
Well, I mean, let me see.
Yeah, I mean, kind of, right?
They get the old whale hand, the hippo foot, kind of
Yeah.
I
I mean, T called them mermaids earlier.
well, no,
womanities.
mermaid.
What a beluga? They're white, right?
Yes.
Belugas are white. Yeah.
So their whiteness, if you're like a pirate or a Christopher Columbus or a Viking like Leif Erikson, and you're crossing a
All at
body of
once?
water and you see some
Okay.
white thing, with some little
Tail
flipper
skipping.
thing, could a mermaid just? I mean, a beluga could be very beautiful to a sailor.
Whale,
Oh.
dolphins, whales,
All right.
and manatees are all part of the
It's another
order.
episode, I think.
Dolphins,
Sorry.
whales, and manatees are all part of the order Cetacea. I think that's what you pronounce it. Which
Cetacea.
includes all of the world's species of whales, dolphins, and porpoises. These animals share a common ancestry and are closely
I
related.
knew I was smart.
Hey, I got your smart stuff up here for you. You want to know about this?
I want to know about this. Yes,
That thing?
that thing is exactly what I want to know about.
There it is.
And we have Mr. Predicto if we need to solve any differences or
Didn't you have four?
have any
something?
arm wrestling battles
Like
to
four-
solve. Huh?
You had four of anything for us question.
Oh, yeah,
But I got that for you.
yeah.
And I got the CRISPR.
Hold on here. Hold on. Okay, I want you to try to read this to me.
Getting brain implants.
Here.
All right.
Dude, we're going to talk about brain implants here shortly. That's happening.
It must.
Read that.
Okay. Made
pronounce it.
in Taiwan. I'm just kidding, man. It says, I wish I knew. I wish I didn't know.
Well, these are cards that we're reading off of, but can you
I'm
read
messing
what
with you,
that
dog.
damn animal is right there? Because I can't do it.
I wish I didn't know cards.
If you see an assassin bug called Acanthapsis pedax coming, Pedex. You might want to run. It wears a suit of armor made from chitin.
There's 4 choices.
Beetle smells.
So what? There's
There you go.
4 smells.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I wanted him to read
Because
the
it's
name of the
cone
animal.
nose bloodsucker. That's the kind of
Well,
related.
You kind of brought that up back in the day with the blood sucking,
Eastern cone nose bloodsucker.
Yeah, and then there was another one we were talking about,
They look
some
like
other
that.
bug, and we were talking about all the different ones.
Smartest things on the
and
planet.
I just couldn't pronounce that.
If you see an assassin bug called Acanthaspis petax coming, you might want to run.
Look out, there's an app.
It wears a suit of armor made from
Coming.
dead ant bodies.
Why are you talking about the sexual happenings of species?
Hey, but Che,
insect.
you've seen the weird, flat, nasty ones that do the they drink your blood. They look like a Corvette kind of with the black body. You ain't seen them?
I don't think I've seen them.
Well, this says that it wears a suit of armor made from one of these options, like either bee stingers, dried snake venom, dead ant bodies, or beetle shells. And the answer is dead ant bodies. But like an animal puts dead ant bodies all over it and then like wears it like a shield of armor.
That
Sounds
right there.
sounds like something
You've seen that, right?
Like what kind of what is this?
That's the one that we got in Florida that's nasty, and
That's-
you want to look out for that.
the species of kissing bug.
The eastern blood-sucking cone
Eastern
nose
cone-nosed bloodsucker.
in Kentucky.
It's
They
pronounced
got them here.
Do I need to tell my family about these?
called conanose.
I mean,
They live right there on the water.
I don't know what they're like up there, but I've seen footage of them we're in a desert southwest where it's all dry and different, but they like to hide in cracks. And if you got any of them, then
Any cracks?
any of the bugs, then you want to certain times a year make sure that you know about them because they're quiet and sneaky and nasty. We got them here, but they come and go. I think the flood got a bunch of them, maybe.
Or maybe it helped them breed, come back stronger.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Miami, Florida has been overrun by African land snails. These mollusks grow to the size of rats and will eat A, anything that gets in their path, B, the outside of a house until it crumbles, C, small pets, or D, human flesh.
Human flesh.
What do these African land snails consume?
Human flesh.
Okay, what do you think, T?
Same.
Are you guys wishful that it's human flesh, or do you really believe that?
Well, if it's something that I wish I didn't know. I mean, I wish that's not true.
They kind of made this one a little. They kind of
Baited us.
yeah. It's the outside of a house until it crumbles. So I guess the snails will go outside the house, like and crawl around it, and then it's whatever it's saliva just breaks
They got
down
a time lapse of them eating a
that
whole
concrete.
I'm
Yeah,
glad I was wrong.
I know that you don't want to. I know that they leave like the trail of mucus, and all kind of stuff can last in that.
I mean, how
Bad
intelligent
stuff.
are like
Well, I don't think that they're destroying they're ruining houses, knowing that they're ruining. Like,
they're not doing it on purpose,
It's
like in an
humans'
intelligent
hell.
way or anything.
Hey, you know what
Yeah.
It's part of our plot.
if they wanted to,
Yeah,
if they wanted to talk about it, what would it be?
Say what?
If the snails wanted to talk about it, it would be like a cephala podcast.
Let's talk about salt. It's killing us.
in their little discussions where they're talking about the next city to take over.
Snail in the shell.
Yeah, we'll save the other two.
I wish it.
They're off topic.
No. I heard about them in one of the articles that I just swiped through. But like you see the good article, like, oh, this talks about snails. Yeah, moving on.
Oh, snail, yeah.
And you see something about I don't know. You see something about a celebrity at a halftime show. Like, never mind. I'm gonna go back to the snail.
You really snailed it.
Snailed it.
Yeah,
The bad snail from your
we're the
past.
smartest.
Snail
we're
Hitler.
we're the smartest.
I remember I was studying about this famous mathematician named Maria Agnesi. She was a prodigy in the early 1700s. And this has to do with
I was
animals.
thinking about that today. You told me a little bit about this. Is this the Italian one?
Yes, I wrote a paper about her in college, and I wanted to create I wanted to write about her, and because she was someone really important that I believe must be known.
Didn't she create the first bologna sandwich?
No, she's from Milan. So, and she did argue. I mean, I think it's I could be wrong, but she
did something first.
She arguably created one of the first textbooks for mathematics, and it's called Analytical Institutions. And what's important about that book is that she basically covers math from the basics all the way to a newly found, or a rather new form of mathematics called the calculus. Even though calculus was used in ancient times, they just didn't know it. And then there's like a feud between Leibniz and Newton as to who figured out calculus first, because Newton wrote a book called Principia Mathematica, Mathematical Principles, and he basically explained how calculus works. And then literally he and Leibniz, his mathematician from Germany, argued about who figured out calculus first. But regardless, Maria Agnesi, she introduced calculus as the end. I think it was like at the end, because she was also more known for figuring out a curve and calculating in graphs. And this was known as the Witch of Agnesi. It's a misunderstanding in language, but she had a huge influence on mathematical development. But the point is that one of the things she did was her dad would show her off to rich people, because her dad wanted to impress the nobility of Italy so much that the nobility would consider him to become a noble, like a little private club of the aristocracy. So he would always have her debate the intellectuals of Europe in front of the wealthy. This was basically one of their forms of entertainment back then. And one of the topics that she debated was about animal spirits. You see, back then, the popular belief, one of the popular questions was, do animals have souls? Back then, people believed that because they believed that animals just were mechanical, that they're the organic machines. That was the basic point of view of animals beforehand. And then in the Enlightenment, they started wondering, well, don't animals have a personality? Do they have souls? And, that brings to the topic of, basically the essence of an animal's being. And there are actually one group that says animals don't have souls. Others say they do have souls. And then you have the compromise where they say animals do have a soul, but it's not a soul. It's an animal soul. Or it's like not a human soul. I'm like, you guys were debating about calculus before you went to animal souls just now.
Yeah, the vapor.
But, it reminds me of the Planet of the Apes when Charlton Heston put in trial, why do humans have no souls? Well, we talk about animal cognition, but even in the past, they even debated whether or not animals have a self-being.
I mean, I think I guess I understand that. I feel like they do. I mean, I think what's obvious, I think we understand that today's age pretty regularly. I don't feel like I need to debate my view on it nowadays, right?
No.
Like, it's kind of pretty general. Like, you watch dogs on TikTok all day long rescuing things from pools or each other or helping other animals. You see all kinds of weird communications between animals.
But do they gotta be nice to have a soul? Can they be like broken?
Is empathy tied to the soul?
It's for it to be tied to the soul has to, when it comes to empathy.
Is it connected to the soul bone?
Well, to the soul bone.
Is the empathy bone connected to the soul bone? Soul bone connected to the heart bone.
The beluga bone.
Yeah.
We're back to Beluga.
Yep.
When we think about, I mean,
That's all I got.
you connect,
Sorry, I'm
you
out.
connect souls to when you connect souls to feeling. When you connect like,
Or to
Right.
morality, like the good and bad of it.
Empathy.
You know?
well, like if
But
you
all
have,
that,
if
do you got to have that just to say,
I don't. If you don't have like, okay, when you watch Supernatural and you see demons, the one thing they say about the demons is they have no soul, which means they have no empathy. They don't care about you at all, and that's how the actors act in the characters. That's how they portray themselves. They're evil, soulless demons
from
you know,
our little human like
trying to kill the Winchesters.
perspective, right?
well, that's the thing. Like, if that's the implication about this. Like, if we were to study the belief of a soul, if a soul does exist,
Here we go.
and we talk about the concept of the soul, and by that logic, if you have no soul, you have no feeling. So demons have no souls. But if you were to take a look at how they divided it in the Enlightenment,
Mr. Predicto, do animals have souls?
There is no doubt.
no, animals have soul. Back,
Predicto does not.
if you were to
ever.
take that
Gwen Stefani.
discussion to the late Enlightenment and early 18th century, do animals have? If you don't have a
Spiderwebs?
soul, you're nothing more than a machine. That's how they viewed it. So if demons have no souls, they're just these machines that know that they're committing evil. But if you know
Well, they're devils.
that, but I think
Like
like
evil angel, ex-angel.
He's pulling the
spawn.
the thread out the sweater.
if you think is soul is not just about feeling. It's about, if we're to look at the idea of the soul, it's not just feeling. It's also consciousness. If you're conscious, if you're knowledgeable of your actions, then you must have some
Well,
sort
the
of
Siemens are taking over human, bodies.
the which one?
So like in
Yeah,
Supernatural,
let's-
when you're a demon, you're taking over the body of a human, right? And their eyes turn black, and they're like these soulless beings, and like
Well,
you have to like suck the tornado cloud of smoke out of them to get these people's souls back. But like when Sam went down to hell, they tore apart his soul, so when he came back, it wasn't never the same. You know what I mean? And so
Where's that put a snail's soul on the
I don't know. I think it's
Deal.
important.
a snail soul.
good, bad,
Right.
neutral?
Well,
Snow?
depends
They
on
get
the
a pass.
snails. No, some snail souls are destroying houses, apparently. But
They do eat house bricks.
if you read Paradise Lost, Milton's epic poem of how the devil became the devil,
Can you do that,
demons-
Scott? Go ahead.
Yeah.
demons are nothing
I
more
will.
than angels that got punished with Lucifer, and they became
Exactly, and because they're assholes.
Yeah.
They're pretty much just it's like Republicans and Democrats right now.
Analysts.
Well, if I had to bring the inner nerd, if I had to bring in the,
Totally joking, but
hold on a second, I think
Yankees and the Red Sox.
angels and demons for angels and Red Sox.
Yeah.
There you go. Now, well, if you want to, if I had to bring out the inner nerd of me, you watched Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I know Lord of the Rings. We were watching it last night.
Oh,
I was watching The Two Towers last night.
I saw that movie for the first time. No, if you watched in the beginning in the first Lord of the Rings,
How many
they
times?
were
Give me
explaining
the number.
how many times have I seen it? I think I've seen the movie, including in theaters.
Yep.
I would say, like the trilogies. How many times or one?
The extended version.
I've never seen
All
the
of-
extended version.
No?
Never.
So what do you just watch this on basic TV when it comes out with your rabbit ears?
I watched the DVD.
Are you a novice? Like,
Yes, I'm a novice.
what is
Stone Age
this?
over here.
Schmiegel?
I must have the extended edition.
Yeah.
You must have this. I need 9 hours more. Must have my extendices. Now, if you watch the first Lord of the Rings, they describe what orcs are, and orcs are basically elves gone bad. Based how they were
Well,
narrated.
Saruman was like freaking growing them underneath the tower
Yeah, they're being bred into some sort of goo.
out of goo.
But
It's a video series from the 80s. Elves Gone
What are they,
Bad.
tissue culture and freaking orcs?
Yeah.
I mean,
Can you please explain that?
Yeah, what's going on here, man?
no, that's I'm just quoting what some made up.
I mean,
wizard
you
said in
can't
that
really, you don't
background.
really know that if you're not on the extended version.
Going against the movement?
If you're not on the extended version, you wouldn't understand. It's just not on your level, man.
I know.
Okay.
I'm sorry. 2
We'll speak
hours is
to
all I can
lower-
handle.
Well,
Orky dorky.
Yeah. You're more hanging out with the goblin gods and the goblin king and stuff over there on the Hobbit.
Well, in my defense, in my defense,
Thank you for admitting defeat so quickly and easily.
I'll say this: I wouldn't count the Peter Jackson Hobbit movies. Those were a disgrace. They should never made such a ridiculous add-ons. That was such an insult to Tolkien.
There was a
really
lot of things that I
disappointed.
liked about it, but then there were so many things I didn't.
Let's add a female elf. Let's add a love story. Let's add Legolas was never in the Hobbit in the first place.
I loved the Legolas being in it. I liked the part of the dragon in the mountain and them going on the journey to give them back their land. I was all about that. I love the troll scene with the trolls, like some of the early on, like I love the adventureness of it, but I hated like the Battle of the Five Armies, the way that happened. I hated that.
Likewise.
I hated, but I also liked watching, Theoden go through his, gold sickness and, that the whole thing in there, I liked the way that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I felt like it could have been a lot better, and they're going to be doing more now,
They're trying to rebank on the glory of the Return of the King. We have no ring to drive the main character crazy. This
Return of the King was the best.
It was. Return of the King was the best, but Return of the King was the best, but I really enjoyed the most the Two Towers more than the Return of the King. The Return of the King was the best, but for some reason I enjoyed the Two Towers more.
The Two Towers was great because I loved the Ents or whatever, the tree people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Those are the Entians or something.
Yeah, when they save them in Rohan.
That was the best. The tree folk they destroyed basically Sauron's orc factory.
And when they were all sitting there smoking their pipes of weed, eating all the food, when everybody showed up, when everything's
That was
underwater
at the
and
beginning
everything.
of Return. Oh wait, I saw a piece of the extended.
That was at the end of the Two Towers.
The extended edition showed Saruman's death.
Oh, see, I've seen all of it. Yeah. I've watched going away and I've seen. I'm not gonna.
Have they re-released the extended edition in theaters?
I have it on iTunes, and I got the Hobbit. I like the Hobbit ones a lot, but the more I do think about it, I always try to compare, because when you watch the video quality of the first Lord of the Rings, like the very first one, you can tell the Two Towers and the last one, how much better they got at doing this and shooting at this quality, because they were doing the high frame rate, versions that you could go watch at the theaters as well. And that's the ones we would go see, actually. My buddy Jared was a frame rate whore. And we'd have to go to, Waterford, where the high frame rate was. Didn't matter what time, in line, waiting, ready to rock, because we had to get to our seats. The one seats, I would always take a picture and put my finger, like do a selfie with all of us sitting in our chair. And I would take my finger till it was like right over Jared's weenie. And then I would snap the picture, and he would always try to block it. Don't put that over there. And then I would post it on the internet.
Nice.
And we went and saw every Lord of the Ring, all of the movies. We've done that for years, since high school.
I saw the Return of the King on a week after it was released, but on the night of the last Harry Potter movie, I went to Waterford Lakes Theater.
You saw that too, or I did.
And
they didn't go with me to those.
That line was incredibly long, extended outside the exit doors all the way to the nearest Five Guy Burgers.
You like going to movies?
I love the movies.
TU?
Once in a while.
Like going to theater, sitting down, and just kind of sitting back in a seat and just
especially
checking out a movie.
Epic Theater in Titusville. I love it.
I love the Epic Theater in Titusville.
It's my favorite.
You can
theater.
recline. It's the best seats that we've ever had around here.
Yeah, it's
ever.
There's a one point where I bought one of those airplane pillows with me when I sat in the movie theaters. I don't need to do that.
I love how they funnel you through too. They get out all the nonsense, of the old theaters. There's all these wasted space, even at the Merritt Island one, there's all that big space that no one ever uses in that place. Is they bring you right in, you just touch screen, get your tickets, walk right in, get your food, check out, get your drinks. I wish the drink thing was a little more easy to deal with, especially when there's a lot of people, because there's only 2 of them. But the seats are all reclining. They got all this space to where you can both put elbows on both sides if you really wanted to. You know what I mean?
Like it's got two hand armrests,
and it's got a remote control on the side. You just push button and go.
Yeah, I remember when T and I we went to see. I invited T to see Godzilla King of the Monsters at the Epic Theater. We went to see that.
Yeah,
I love that. I love Epic Theater. But like, it's one of the best experiences, especially when it's a movie like Dune 2 is coming out in March, and I can't wait to see that. I saw the first one on HBO Max, but I was like, I should have seen this in theaters. This is the cinematography, the direction was so superb. This is something that could have only been savored well in the big screen.
Look at the dinosaurs on Jurassic Park. You see that in the movie theater? The velociraptors, how intelligent they were.
But did they have souls? No.
But they look at you like,
Back then, they might have been the more intelligent species. They were definitely the more dominant.
like a chicken or a lizard.
We were like the little rats living in the freaking mountain cave holes.
Yeah. In Michael Crichton's Lost World, he describes one of the I think it was a scientist. He got eaten by the velociraptors. He made the mistake of running in the tall grass, and the velociraptors went up and just the way how Michael Crichton describes how people died by dinosaurs. It's just so. He does a great job describing. It's just so scary. But those were velociraptors. After they killed him, they found something in his pocket, a chocolate bar, and they stopped eating him and started fighting each other over the chocolate bar.
Okay. I'm going to throw something at you. I'm going to go a little extreme here.
That's cool.
I'm going to flip the script on us.
All right.
Are we trying to, like we got Neurolink, Elon, we're throwing chips in the head so you just have Google attached right to your brain, right? So you can just, Chat GPT, put it right there on my head.
Chris.
To where I don't even have to think. FDA gave them approval for human study of brain implants, right? That's happening. We know it's happening if anybody's podcasting or watching them. And we all know about CRISPR as well. Most people know about CRISPR. It's a stock that's even talked about quite a bit. And it's gene editing. And it's been kind of talked about for a while. You'll see it even on, your mainstream reports, talks about it pretty regularly. And there was a lot of debate over stem cells and what types of stem cells are, ethical and okay to use. And, this technology is advancing, and artificial intelligence is computing this data and processing it in a lot faster, more efficient way than the human brain. So here's my theory. Or my question, I should say, are we doing human studies on this like ASAP? Or or maybe we have been using them on animals. We have been using them on animals, right? Put them on rats and all kinds of stuff already.
I believe so.
I wonder if we put them on monkeys or anything, because I'd be worried that we would be worried as just our fear instinct as a human. If we put these intelligent chips on these creatures, are they going to actually be like we see in the movies and overtake us?
Oh, like in those horrible Planet of the Apes movies.
Not the Jay and Silent Bob one. We're not talking about the Clit organization or any of the, the chimps that are there and Boo Boo Kitty fucking all those people trying to, Nambla or whatever it was called, Will Ferrell. But you know what I'm saying? Like, what if,
like Dr. Moreau.
That's what CRISPR reminds me of, Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, look what they did with it in that was different, but in Dr. Mephisto in South Park with the 9S
he's a parody on Brando's Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, with the 9S swine. I think I can add an extra ass to that swine of yours.
The fact that They did not hold their punt. They did not pull their punches. They were all for, like, he sounded like Marlon Brando. He was
Totally.
dressed like him.
Totally.
But
He had his little friend, the little guy.
but she was like, "What are you exactly?" Now, the way I say it, like, I don't know much about the brain implants. What specifically, like, are these Neuralink supposed to do? What is?
I guess it's supposed to like upgrade our computing capacity to know and have that information. When you think of something, the answer searches in your head pretty much, and you have the answer.
I don't know. It's.
So your brain's better.
Like a little computer.
I think it's supposed to be some kind of like neurological enhancer. It's supposed to help with your immune system. There's health benefits that they can activate certain neurons and do certain things. But then I think there's one for information. There's the Beluga. I mean, that brain right there looks pretty big.
I mean, if we're talking
a lot
about
of Neuralink.
That's an internal Neuralink right there.
if we're talking about gifting animals, or inadvertently gifting animals high intelligence,
Yeah.
if he almost like the whole reasons why kings and tyrants were against the Enlightenment, they must not know knowledge or they will overthrow us.
What was the movie with LL Cool J? I think it was with Deep Blue Sea.
Deep Blue Sea? That's what it's called.
Damn it,
Deep
man!
Blue, right?
Deep Blue Sea.
Was it Deep
Smart
Blue
ass.
Sea?
And then
I
the
love
Meg.
that
The
movie.
Meg is another one that they have all these smart sharks, right? Smart
Well, the Meg,
megalodons.
the Meg, the Meg was
Freddy the
just. I don't think it was like biologically engineered to be smart. He was just because it was more like just a killing machine, not more like a
Okay.
crafty. I want to
gotcha.
get back at these humans type.
I got you.
When it comes to CRISPR, like I said, it reminds me of Dr. Moreau. I mean, the fact that H.G. Wells even conceived the notions that that there can be the potential for man, because that's what the stories are supposed to do. Teach us a lesson in his sci-fi. Teach us a lesson with a technology that we can alter the genes, the biological structure of organisms, that we can manipulate it. I mean, it falls right into that category. Only the thing is that Dr. Moreau, the lesson wasn't against gene editing because that wasn't exactly conceived. It's more about vivisection. Dr. Moreau was able to manipulate the biological structure through vivisection. In fact, there is his laboratory was called by the animals the House of Pain.
Oingo Boingo, right?
No, I'm going to talk about. Did it talk? I don't think
He
there's-
gave me the
oh,
eyebrow nod, like, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Bongo, bongo.
Oingo Boy, right?
But Dr. Moreau,
That's so good, dude.
he would punish his specimens by taking them to the House of Pain. There's no Oingo Boingo. Is there no, I want to look. Is there an Oingo Boingo song about the House of
Just
Pain?
created a riff. In
Yes. There's a song where the sayer of the law says one of the laws of Dr. Moreau.
Who makes
Bingo,
the
bango.
rules? Right.
What?
Who makes the rules?
Yeah.
Someone else. Not the House of Pain.
Yes. No. It's, the weird thing, I was listening to Oingo Boingo last weekend. Wow, I can't believe I forgot. And it was just last weekend I was listening to it. Yeah, there is not House of Pain, the band. There's an Oingo Boingo song where they reference Dr. Moreau.
But you know, if we have that as an animated version, there's real versions like in like remote areas where just like there are human parts attached to animal parts, or there are human brain waves being pumped into animal brains, or some way that data's being transferred or downloaded, or some kind of crazy stuff's happening.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it.
Like you got Monsanto, right? Monsanto, whatever. They are in the business pretty much of owning plant genetics and selling them and having a proprietary, ownership over the chemical makeup of a plant. What happens when that transfers over into artificial intelligence or into CRISPR, where CRISPR, like other companies, after 7 years of something can come out with a competitive version, right, of CRISPR. And what if these other gene editing, and then it becomes, well, I can make kids' eyes neon green, but you can't,
Just sounds like.
And it turns into this proprietary business, which is what it's going to come. You're going to go get laser. When you're pregnant, you're going to have a touchscreen and saying, I want this. You're going to have a makeup kit practically, and it'll start off slow.
Well,
it'll start off where you can get this done or this done, and before you know it, you're getting, embryo Botox.
Well, the thing is, what you described there is what I believe the very reason why we have cynics in science, because when people misuse or overuse scientific advances or experimentation, up to upset that it becomes negative or dangerous, then
or you don't share the good stuff kind of thing either, right?
Well,
the thing back.
Well, think about, like you said, like the point he made about guys saying, "Oh, my kid, I can change the color of my kid's eyes or something." I mean, that's going
to be like part of the CRISPR business model, right?
It can be. I mean, to me, it smells of Joseph Mengele, because that's exactly what he tried to do to children in his actual houses of pain.
Is it in Germany right now where CRISPR is from?
No, like Nazis.
Totally joking.
Nazis literally experimented on people to literally transform them into blonde hair. They injected blue dye in people.
They were trying to figure stuff out with twins and stuff like that too. There was some hardcore, crazy bad stuff.
It's just crazy that they had such a.
You've seen the documentary on Mossad finding Mengele in like Brazil or wherever they found him.
I never seen I saw the movie The Boys from Brazil.
Okay, there's been some YouTube clips where they kind of go down that hole, and man, it's worth watching. It's very interesting.
Well, when I read about Joseph Mengele, I heard that he drowned in his pool in Brazil. I mean, when I read, like, someone drowned him, or
you gotta watch that if you have interest in any of that.
I want to. Yeah,
it's fantastic.
I gotta. What's it
I'll
called?
Send you a link.
Yes, please.
I got you.
Oh, there you go. No spill blood. Who makes the law? Yeah.
Boingo, boingo.
Boingo, boingo. No spill blood. Here's something interesting. One of the rules that Dr. Moreau made was that animals cannot walk on all fours. They must walk on two legs, resist the temptation to. Moreau didn't want animals to regress to their animal states, so he made it a law.
No rapey vibes.
Can you do the Brando thing though? Can you do it?
What is Moreau?
Yeah.
I don't know the
did it.
So what?
Val Kilmer.
You have a good schmeagle, man. Let's hear your Moreau, dude.
Okay. I'll say so, not verbatim.
Get like 5 minutes of this in, please. 5 minutes. Just give us 5 minutes. We won't talk.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. The performance vivisection. No, that's not how it works.
That's pretty good. That was pretty good, dude. That was pretty good.
The man shall not look.
Yeah. Broke. You got it, dude. T, man, leave alone, T. Leave alone, dude. Give him a minute.
Who makes the law? No animal shall walk on 2 feet. No, I don't know, dude.
The fucking Godfather. This Godfather Moreau.
Sinatra called him Mr. Mumbles. He mumbles his lines. Yeah. I read that he wasn't even putting an effort in Dr. Moreau.
All right, T, let's hear yours.
Someone give me a push on this hammock. I just want a little swing. Can someone? Yeah, there we go. Just one swing. Okay. The law.
Anthony Hopkins has a little bit of that in him sometimes.
What was the one with
Anthony Hopkins speaks? His speech pattern is very similar to Richard Burton, but they're both Welsh actors. So maybe it's.
What about the
Belugas?
Christian Slater.
The Beluga, starring Marlon Brando.
Stole the Coke.
2 Belugas, 1 cup.
Oh. 2 Beluga, 1 Echo.
How about De Niro and Brando with Ed Norton?
The Score.
Can you do that one?
I don't remember anything that.
I feel like you've heard this one before, and like, do it again.
Probably did.
I can't do Brando and the score. I don't remember much of his lines, but he's just he became one of those legendary actors that they just
really
he all he had to do was appear in the movie. It doesn't matter how he performed.
It's pretty funny to me that my understanding and knowledge of all of this is from South Park. You know what I mean? Like he was on multiple episodes of South Park,
which they kind of did well, making fun of his voice.
And then they did have the Real Deal one with Val Kilmer and everything. Later on that probably prior to South Park, I would imagine. I don't know when that movie came out with Val Kilmer at first.
1997 or 6.
I think that was right around the same time than the South Park, because that was right around 97 or so when South Park came out, the very first season. And it first started with, cows being, I wanted to bring this up. I've been trying to find it.
The most advanced civil.
Cows in South Park were the most advanced species per aliens. And they're like, moo, moo, moo. And Eric Cartman had the satellite up his butt the whole time, remember?
Yeah, I remember that. God, I haven't seen that episode in a long.
And then slowly after, Dr. Mephisto was adding asses to swines and monkeys and had that little guy that he hung out with. Yeah. And he was a very regular person with Cartman and in the gang at South Park.
I mean, worst case scenario, the worst case scenario, if things go incredibly wrong, whether with CRISPRs or testing alien implants, I mean, just take a look at.
Hey, if aliens were real, okay, aliens are a real deal, right? Like they're real. And let's say, like, finally they come out and they're like, yo, guys, hey, we're here. We ain't going to mess with you, but we want to test a few of you. And we want to give you some of our superpowers, right? We need y'all to sign up. Would you guys sign up to get an alien superpower? Or would you be like, no, I don't trust this. I'm staying out of this.
To quote Popeye.
I don't want to play this game.
To quote Popeye, I am what I am.
So you staying. You ain't going to get a superpower.
It's almost a sweet potato.
I'm fine.
No alien Botox for you.
I do not want to be anyone's lab rat.
You don't want to be a human centipede?
I heard of that. No,
You've only heard of it?
Yeah, it doesn't sound.
You have not watched the movie?
Nope.
Oh my!
Doesn't sound like a.
T, what are you doing with your family over here, man?
Doesn't sound like
an
appeasing title.
You need to watch this.
I don't know.
You cannot do another episode on this podcast with us.
That's showing me
without that knowledge, because that's our next episode conversation is human centipede.
It's kind of on the timeline.
That's showing me picture. I do not like what I'm saying.
This is very important to this conversation. I feel like let's pause this episode right now. Let's go sit over and watch 1 and 2, and then we'll finish the show up when it's done.
Number 2. Good. 2, is that what you said?
Yeah, there's a second.
Yeah. All right.
I think there's a third.
Goodness.
You gotta watch it, dude. It's amazing.
We went from Moreau to human centipede.
Totally.
Now let's go back to The Hobbit. No.
And they have the Amazon Prime series, Lord of the Rings,
I saw
where they had like a prequel.
I saw that was disappointing.
You know what? To you, it was disappointing. Okay.
Grandpa.
And remember, just like I'm doing the same thing. I'm always going to do this to you. Is okay. I'm going to throw another one before I go down because we already know what I'm going to say. Is you got Willow. That also had Val Kilmer in it.
Mm-hmm.
Willow was a gem.
It was a good movie.
Okay. It was amazing. They had a series on Amazon.
Warwick Davis came back.
Was it Amazon or was it Disney?
It wasn't Disney. Warwick Davis
and a lot of the people came back for it.
Except for Val Kilmer.
You know. But I think he was in a little part of it at first or something.
I never see him in it.
They talked about, him, being gone. There's something that came of that. Anyway, that whole series came out and I loved it. It never got picked back up. It was not popular. People hated on it. For some reason, maybe it's why I like Supernatural. You know what I mean? Like, I fucking loved it, dude. Like, I loved Willow and all that little Bad Mardigan. You got all the little dudes. And Willow was the best, and it actually had Willow in it. Like, how could you not love that? Like, why did we not like ride with that and want to watch it? Like, I thought it was great.
Well, I remember the reason why I watched Willow in the first place when I was 20 years ago. The reason why I watched it in the first place is because it had Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
And now that he was I didn't consider the main character.
Doc Holliday, man. He's the guy.
Yeah, he's
Wonderland.
Wonderland, The Doors,
Salt and Sea.
Spartan.
Remember Salt and Sea?
I saw Salt and Sea. Ironically, he narrated
The guy with the pig nose?
he narrated a documentary about meth, the meth issue, and the pig nose was Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah, exactly.
I said, there he is. Yeah.
Kingpin, man.
Kingpin. Yeah, which was it was ruined in Echo.
Yeah. Val Kilmer was the man, dude. I mean, look, Top Gun.
And I love the
Top Gun, bro.
I love the documentary that he made.
I feel like I'm totally probably speculating or wrong here, but I feel like Guile from Street Fighter was like designed after Val Kilmer in Top Gun with the hair
Iceman,
straight up and the Iceman look to him, and all that. The little military gear.
And I really wish they made a good Street Fighter movie. That would have been something. They made a good anime of Street Fighter. T's typing up heat. That was perhaps when Val Kilmer peaked. That was.
I'll tell you. The Miles Morales Spider-Mans that they're putting out right now, to me, are as good or better than any of the Spider-Men prior. You can't do them without. You can't do the Miles Morales without the old ones. I'm not like I have full respect to all Spider-Man movies and all that and their history, but the way that they kind of flexed with it and kind of created this multiverse and all these different things and created this anomaly and it's so badass. And then when you take the artistic part, when you take the story that they wrote, like we were talking about this in the break of projects and stories and music compositions and layering them all into one into an audio book or to a book, anything like that. And I feel like what they did, first they got that Post Malone song that was real hot with that first one that they put out, and the whole soundtrack was just really good. The second one that they did is equally as good. And Miles Morales, that whole story behind them and the Spider, they did a really good job with it. And it's all anime. And I'm usually not a fan of the anime first as being the best of stuff, You're
talking about these Spider-Verse?
Yeah.
I didn't latch on to I didn't consider that the animated Morales.
Miles Morales.
As part of the, what did I say?
You said Morales. I was just.
Miles Morales.
You're fine.
I didn't consider him as part of the other Spider-Man, but it had its good moments. I'm definitely not against the Spider-Verse movies. They're pretty good.
I think it was cool because it's another thing to where it wasn't really built for just us. It was built for the kids and the next generation, and watching them really, really get into them. Like even my daughter, and the soundtrack is what really brought her into liking it. And then it was the quality and the style of the anime. They did it with the Ninja Turtles as well. The Ninja Turtles has a different way of anime that it brought to it, but then they used the old 90s and 2000s hip hop, to go with this different artistic, style of animation. And then the story was great too. You put all those pieces together in today's age, man, you got something.
Oh yeah. I mean, and we even talked about it, how, the newer versions are purposely crafted for the next generation. I grew up with there's this animated Spider-Man series in the 1990s. That was my go-to for, like, everything I know about Marvel was because of the Spider-Man animated series.
Talk about the one with the song in the beginning. There goes the Spider-Man.
It's more like Spider-Man, Spider-Man.
And all that is it's about a spider's genetic or some kind of mutated spider.
Yeah, get bit by a radioactive spider.
Making a human smarter or better or whatever you want to call it, And then what do comic books do? They glorify this in so many different ways. You got your Wolverines, you've got your genetic everythings, dude.
What I appreciate about comic books, with these superhero comic books, for the most part, is that they don't say they're magically powerful. They got their power through some sort of scientific explanation. Of course, unrealistic and implausible,
artificial.
But and realistic, but still, they try to say like he didn't get the spider powers from a spider god. No, a spider that has been experimented on bit him, and it messed with his DNA, and he became. Or Superman even. Oh, he's powerful because he came from a planet where they are powerful. They have a different.
I'm with you.
Is that it?
Yep, that's the one. Spider-Man 1994 TV series. That's the one that I would literally rush from school and when I was in elementary to watch these.
The Bugle and everything. Yeah, man.
And then one of my
you can actually watch those on
Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus and DC when Disney bought DC. I think they bought DC, right?
No, Marvel. No.
Oh, Marvel. But no, DC got bought out by. There was an app that you could put on anything, and it was all you could watch all these old Silver Surfers, all the old Spider-Man series from the 80s and 90s.
Like if you can,
and it was those right there.
That was T's.
Yep.
67.
No, you can. I mean, if Disney's going to be to continue to buy up other companies while Congress does nothing about it, not respecting the antitrust act, if they allow Disney, it'll eventually own more.
It's going to be interesting, man. We're pretty much going to have Elon be our Tony Stark, I guess, now, and we're going to start getting this AI going and these implants in the head. And I'm going to tie the show up since we got a lot going and it's getting a little late. We'll do a to be continued on some of this, but I think I like where we ended on this show tonight, guys. This was fun.
Beluga.
Beluga is totally happening.
What's our location? What's our location? Here in Titusville.
Oh, man. Got Che, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you,
Thanks
Scott.
for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
T, as always, man. I know you got a trip coming up this week, so safe travels to you. I hope you have a great time. I hope you have a fantastic experience and do it safely.
Appreciate it.
Great to be here, Scott. Thank you for having me.
No problem, guys. Well, let's get this bad boy on the road, and until next time.
Until next time.
Beluga.
Beluga.
Top screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight.
Beluga.
Daddy's on the floor. He's screaming for more. Saying you're gonna be alright. Daisy's in a tube top screaming from the top of her lungs. This all ends tonight. Daddy's on the floor. He's screaming for more. Saying you're gonna be alright.
Dude, that's just killer. Oh, dude, that was awesome.